तस्मै श्री नमः श्री चैतन्य मनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले. Are you able to hear me?
Kindly. Yes, I can hear you.
Yeah, because I think I am having some internet issues because your voice is breaking with me.
Okay, let's start all over again.
Oh, okay. ॐ अज्ञानं तिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनाशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुर्वे नमः श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूप कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकम् वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरो श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवंश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सगणरघुनाथविन्तं तं सजीवम् साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहित कृष्ण चैतन्य श्री विशाखाविन्तश्च हे कृष्ण करुणा सिन्धु दीन बन्धु जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका कान्ता राधा कान्ता नमस्तुते ताप्त काञ्चन गौराङ्गी राधे वृन्दावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिय वाञ्छकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुवेव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे. हरे कृष्ण माताजी.
Very much, Ritu Mataji.
Thank you Mataji. I am able.
Mataji, Hare Krishna. Urmila Mataji, you did a good job, Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Urmila Mataji. Are you able to?
No, I'm too tired today. Because I just joined. So, what you are saying to read something?
Yeah, would you like to read
No,
the text for today?
No, I had my hospital appointment. I'm too
Okay.
tired. Thank you.
Okay, you rest, you listen. Rest. Are you feeling? Okay. Chandni Mataji, Hare Krishna, would you like to read the text?
Hare Krishna, yes, I can read, but where do I get it from?
Okay, so it is reading Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 1, Chapter 19, Text 2. Are you able to get it from Veda Base?
Okay, let me
project it.
get it. You can project it if you can. You said it's which chapter?
It is Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 1, Chapter 19, Text 2.
Okay.
Are you able to hear Mataji?
Yeah, are you able to get it? I have still not
Yeah,
been able
I'm
to
just going on
project it,
Veda
but
Base.
if you have it, you can read it. Yeah.
Said Canto 1, chapter 9.
19.
19, chapter 19.
Chapter 9.
Okay, and text 2, yeah?
Yes.
Okay,
Chapter 19.
due to my neglecting the
But
injunctions.
Before we read the text, before we
Yeah.
read the No, Mataji, let's do the Sanskrit. Would you like to do the Sanskrit?
But I only have it in English. On weather base.
Okay. Okay, so let me read the Sanskrit, then you can read the English.
Yeah.
Is that okay?
Yeah.
Chevam narotanam devim saraswatim vyasam tato jayamudirate nashtaprayeshu abhadreshu nityam bhagavata sevaya bhagavati uttama shloke bhaktir bhavati. So we are reading from the Srimad Bhagavatam. We are on Canto 1, Chapter 19. The text for today is text 2. Dhruvam tato me krita deva helana nati dirigat tat arame yatha na kuryam punar evam ada. Dhruvam, sure and certain. Tatha, therefore. Me, my. Krita deva, obeying the orders of Vyasanam, calamity. Na, not. Ati, greatly. Dirgat, far off. Tat, that. Astu, desire. Aga, sins. Nishkritya, forgetting free. Me, my. Yatha, so that. Na, never. Kuryam, again. Avakli. Hare Krishna Chandni Mataji, kindly read the translation.
King Parikshit thought, due to my neglecting the injunctions of the Supreme Lord, I must certainly expect some difficulty to overcome me in the near future. I now desire without reservation that the calamity come now, for in this way I may be freed of the sinful action and not commit such an offense again.
Would you like to read the purport as well, Mataji, or should I continue?
Yeah, you can continue.
Okay, I can read the purport. Purport by Srila Prabhupada, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami. Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. Purport. The Supreme Lord enjoys be given proclaim to good to brahmanas and cows. Go brahmanaya hitaya cha. Maharaj Parikshit knew all this, and thus he concluded that his insulting a powerful brahmana was certainly to be punished by the law of the Lord. Very difficult in the very near future to fall in on him and not all his family members. A man's personal misconduct affects all his family members. Therefore, Maharaj Parikshit desired the calamity to fall on him alone. By suffering personally, he would be restrained from future sins, and at the same time, the sin which he has committed would be the family members of the devotee also share the effects of the devotee's service onto the Lord. Maharaj Prahlada saved his demon father by his personal devotional service. A devotee son in or blessing of the Lord. Hare Krishna, are you able to hear me? Ritu Mataji, are you able to hear?
Yes, Mataji.
Yes, you can, but it breaks sometimes.
It's not breaking, but it's not clear.
So, okay, let's. Sorry,
Your voice is
is my
breaking.
sound breaking?
Yes, yes.
Okay, okay. So, if my voice is breaking, put on the connection. But I guess it should
I
get
found
better
the
after some time.
purport.
Sorry?
I found the
No.
proper text with Sanskrit.
Would you like to read the purport?
Yes, I can read it. The Supreme Lord enjoins that brahmanas and cows must be given all protection. The Lord is himself very much inclined to do good to brahmanas and cows. Go brahmana hitayacha. Maharaj Parikshit knew all this, and thus he concluded that his insulting a powerful brahman was certainly to be punished by the laws of the Lord, and he was expecting something very difficult in the very near future. He therefore desired the imminent calamity to fall on him and not on his family members. A man's personal misconduct affects all his family members. Therefore, Maharaj Parikshit desired the calamity to fall on him alone. By suffering personally, he would be restrained from the future sins, and at the same time, the sin which he had committed would be counteracted so that his descendants would not suffer. That is the way a responsible devotee thinks. The family members of a devotee also share the effects of a devotee's service unto the Lord. Maharaj Prahlad saved his demon father by his personal devotional service. A devotee's son in the family is the greatest boon or blessing of the Lord.
Today we can discuss among ourselves if I'm clear and if I'm audible. Otherwise, we see a recording. Tell me if I'm clear, then we can discuss among ourselves. But if you want to hear a recording, we can go on to a recording. What would you like? Am I clear? Then I can discuss this with.
Mataji, your voice is breaking a lot.
Your voice is breaking.
Okay. Okay, so it must be the weather over here. That is why my voice is breaking. Maybe then I had prepared this class, but if my voice is breaking, I had prepared. So from next week we'll have new speakers because everybody's busy with Janmashtami this week. We are going to meet tomorrow, and after that, then on Monday. So let me share, and we can hear this.
our acharyas
So this is a recording of this year by His Grace Srivas Thakur Prabhuji, who gave this talk, and the title of this talk on this verse is Bhakti. It is the real jewel. That is Konchopati. And I had prepared my talk today from this talk. Because my voice is breaking, let us listen. And we can. I'm trying. This whole day, Eldoret, we are really suffering today. In fact, this whole week. So is it in Nairobi? Are you all okay?
Punah, again, Evam, as I have done, Ada, directly. King Parikshit thought, due to my neglecting the injunctions of the Supreme Lord, I must certainly expect. I know
And here they told.
from future sins, and at the same time, the sin which he had committed would be counteracted so that his descendants would not suffer. That is the way a responsible devotee thinks. The family members of a devotee also share the effects of a devotee's service unto the Lord. Maharaj Prahlad saved his demon father by his personal devotional service. A devotee son in the family is the greatest boon or blessing of the Lord. Om Gyantivinandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshumudmena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namah. Sri Chaitanya Manubhistam Stapitam Mena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kathamayam Tadati Swapadampitam Vande Ham Sri Guru Sri Yukta Padakamalam Sri Guru Vaishnavam Sha Sri Rupam Shagrajatam Sahagana Raghunatam Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padam Sakana Lalita Sri Vishakam Vitansha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrinda Vaneshwari Vishabhanu Sute Devi Pranami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpa Turvesha Kripa Sindhu Devacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivas Adi Gaura Bhaktivinoda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. So thank you for coming for this morning Srimad Bhagavatam class. So when we read the sloka and we read the previous slokas and this whole chapter, one has to understand that Parikshit Maharaj putting the dead snake on Samik Rishi and Samik Rishi's son saying, cursing Parikshit Maharaj, this is actually the will of the Lord. This was directly orchestrated as per Krishna's plan. And one thing we have to understand that when a devotee, like here, Parikshit Maharaj, he knows that the cows and the brahmanas are very dear to Lord Krishna. And he putting a dead snake over the brahmana's neck, he felt that he has done offense. And he was feeling regretful, remorseful, and he wanted to atone for it. The devotee, because of his humbleness, because of his humility, even though he does a small accidental mistake, he magnifies it. He magnifies it and he tells the Lord, my Lord, just see, what type of devotee I am. I cannot even call the devotee. I'm filled with so many anarthas and I'm doing all these negative actions. So basically a devotee, even a small accidental mistake, he magnifies it. But in this material world, a person, when he does big mistakes also, what he does, he tries to cover it up. You hear so many things in the papers, this scandal, that scandal, People, they have their lawyers to give justification to cover it up. Even though it's proved, they say, पूरा दुनिया करता है, सब कोई करती है, मैं छोटा कर दिया तो क्या problem है? So in the material world is opposite. But a devotee, because of his humility, he magnifies that small thing into a big thing, and he tells, my dear Lord, and he repents. And what follows after is repentful, that is a real jewel in spiritual life. What happens is, when a devotee, he feels repentful and he regrets doing that mistake, he goes very deep in his heart. He goes very deep in his prayer to the Lord and said, my dear Lord Krishna, just see whatever devotee I am filled with so many negativity. I am doing so many negative actions. My dear Lord, I have so many anarthas in my heart. I do not have any hope. You are my only hope, my Lord. Please intervene. Please have mercy on me. And when a devotee has such attitude, such prayerful attitude, Krishna gives him very high spiritual realizations. And Krishna gives him many more spiritual realization and gifts to come. And we should know one thing, that when one does not follow the rules of the Lord, when one disobeys the rules given in the scriptures, definitely he has to go through negativity. Definitely sinful reactions will come. And when we don't follow the rules of the Lord, definitely we have to go through that sinful reaction. So the first thing, I'm like, the fact that we have just taken birth in this material world, that itself shows we have, rebelled against the Lord. We were in the spiritual world, we rebelled against the Lord, and we wanted to be our own enjoyers. We wanted to, take the position of Christian in one sense. So because of that negative thought, we have taken birth in this material world. And taking birth in this material world, that itself is a sinful reaction on us. Taking birth in this material world means we have to go through those three kleshas. Then there's birth, disease, old age, death. This itself is a sinful reaction on us. And the scriptures mention that this world is a place of dukhalayam. Dukhalayam means it's a place of misery. This world, if suppose someone is sent to a prison house, वो उधर मौज मस्ती करने नहीं जाता है. He goes, वो अपना सजा काटने जाता है. He goes to, जो भी 10 years, 15 years, 20 years, उसको that punishment, he goes to atone, to rectify in the jail. So when we've taken birth in this material world, the scripture says that this material was like a jail for us. We should try to atone and finish whatever atone and again go back to God. It's a place of dukhalayam. There's misery at every step. There's danger at every step. I would like to narrate a true story. In my organization, suddenly, from our bank account, 4 lakh rupees was deducted and that money was transferred to someone else's account. It was not a hacking thing. No one has hacked, but just the bank had made a mistake. It deducted 4 lakhs from account and transferred to someone else's account. When our accountant came to know, he was shocked. My accountant was saying, God, how can the bank do like this? Obviously, the money which was transferred to the other account, that vendor, he was known to us. So he returned that money to us. But it was shocking to our accountant. So in the same way, this world, there's shocking news on every level. Today it is accounts level, tomorrow it is a health level, someday it is on a family level, someday it is on a business level. This world is full of shocking news. Suddenly you're in a house, you get a phone call that your loved one, your son, daughter, your wife has landed with an accident, is at the hospital. You rush to the hospital. Sometimes there's shocking news on your health. Suddenly you have a stomach pain, you go to the doctor, he does some few tests, then he says you have got cancer and it's in the final stages. So this world is full of shocking news. So we have to know that yes, this place is not for enjoyment. This place is only for one purpose. That is to revive our spiritual consciousness. That is to revive our relationship with Lord Krishna and go back to the spiritual world. Then another thing is that if one neglects the injunctions and laws of Lord Krishna, one has to expect difficulty without fail. And the scriptures define what are the injunctions, what are the laws of the Lord Krishna. And if one does not follow, it is guaranteed he has to go through the negative consequences. And what is the main injunction of the scriptures? The main injunction of scriptures is that Krishna is the supreme personality of Godhead, and we should use everything to serve and please Lord Krishna. These are the main few injunctions of scriptures. But Maya will make full effort. Maya will do everything to see that we don't follow this injunction of the scriptures. So a devotee is very, very careful, and a devotee is very inattentive when he's in this world. He knows that Maya, through different means, will try to disturb him to follow the pure injunctions of the scriptures. And like I was mentioning, Maya will try to do everything to see that we don't follow the pure devotional principles of the scriptures. And a devotee is very attentive to every moment. A devotee knows that even if I give a little bit to Maya, is very, very dangerous. Sometimes in this material world, there's so much temptation. You're walking down the road, there's so many posters, posters of Mataji half clad, half naked. You're walking down the road, so much temptations. Maya will always attempt to attack you and divert us. But if we give in to Maya, even a small bit, even a little bit, it's very, very dangerous. There's a story that there was once a camel and his owner. They were traveling in the desert. So when night came, the owner of the camel, he made a small tent in the desert. And he went to stay inside the tent, and his camel was outside. And when the night came, it was very cold in the night. So the owner was in a nice, comfortable, but the camel was feeling very cold. So the camel told the owner, "Sir, it's very cold outside. Just allow me to put my nose inside the tent. Only my nose." So the owner said, "Okay, only your nose." Camel said, "Fine." The camel put only his nose inside the tent. And that was the beginning of the end of the story. So after some time, the camel says to the owner, Sir, it's very cold outside. Please allow me to put only my face inside the tent." The owner said, "Okay, only your face." So the camel puts only the face in the tent. Then after some time, the camel says, "My dear sir, it's very cold outside. And we camels are very attached to our neck, and my neck is very long. Please kindly allow only my neck to come inside the tent." The owner said, "Okay, only your neck." So the camel put his neck, and slowly the camel put his right leg inside, left leg inside, his whole body inside, all the full part, and the owner was outside the tent, and the camel was inside the tent. So the Maya, like this, tempts us and says, only try this out. You have been chanting, you're a seasoned devotee for 20 years. Just little bit, if you give in to just few seconds, nothing happens. But it is very, very dangerous. We have to be very alert. We should not even give in to Maya even for even a second. And Maya will always keep on tempting. Maya will say, "Okay, you did this, you didn't get that desired happiness. Do one thing. You adjust a little bit, do this, change your situation, you'll become happy." Then we adjust and change our situation. Then after going through that, still we don't get the desired happiness which we're looking for. Then Maya says, "Oh, don't worry. You adjust a little bit, you change the situation a little bit this way, like this, you'll become happy." We change it that. Again, after that, we don't get the desired happiness. Maya says, "Don't worry. Like this, change your situation like this, you become happy." Keep on changing situation, and then we become old, and we never got that real happiness for which oh, I know one person. I'm like, the main people, everyone's hair was growing. So I know one person, his hair was growing. So he never had that habit of so long hair. So now the salons were closed. So what he did is he ordered online a hair cutting machine, a small hair cutting machine. So it came through the courier. So he told his son was in the college. He told his son, "Beta, थोड़ा मेरा बाल काट देना, सब जगह से थोड़ा थोड़ा काट देना, from every place, थोड़ा थोड़ा cut." Son said, okay, Papa. So sir, the father took the son took the trimmer, and from everywhere he cut. Then he showed the mirror to his father. Father said, "Hey, this left side is little longer. It's not looking nice. Do one thing. Make from the left side little less hair." The son cut from the left side. Then the father saw. Father said, "Arey, it's not looking nice. Now the right side looks more hair. So do one thing. From the right side, again cut more hair." So the son cut from the right side. After cutting, when the father saw the mirror, he said, "Arey, you've cut a lot from the right side. Now the left side looks more hair. Do one thing. Do little adjustment cutting from the left side." Like this, in the end, literally the father had no hair. The father was bald, So Maya, in the same way, tells, "Arey, this situation, man, you didn't find happiness. Adjust a little bit here. You adjusting there. Then Maya said, "Arey, you didn't get the happiness. Adjust a little bit there." No, like that, we keep on full life, adjust, and in the end, we understand we are with empty heart. We are with a vacuum. We are left with nothing in the end. Now, that happens which we're looking for. You miss that, and we die. So we have to be very careful of Maya trick. The first time itself, Maya says, "Hey, bhai, Srivas Thakur, तूने कुछ adjustment नहीं किया, तो adjust कर." हमको माया को हाथ जोड़ के बोलना, भाई राम राम. And we go back to our scriptures, we take association devotees and never get into the, into the aspect of Maya even for a second. And we have to understand that it is only Krishna consciousness which will give us real happiness in life. Any amount of adjustment we do in material life, nothing will give us that happiness which we are looking after for life after life. It's only when we are very clear with our goal, only when we are Krishna conscious and we follow Krishna conscious principles nicely, sincerely in life, then only we'll get that desired happiness in our life. In the ISKCON world, when Prabhupada was trying to establish ISKCON in Mayapur, they got a small patch of land. And the financial condition in Mayapur was very, very tight. Just the basic necessity they had, and that also they had to struggle for the basic necessity in the initial Mayapur days. So Jayapataka Maharaj was there. And they had no vehicles that time, no vehicles. They had only one bicycle. The temple had the property, what? A bicycle. So Jayapataka Maharaj, wood and some nail. So he had to cycle for around 45 minutes to the nearest shop. And Jayapataka Maharaj, his father was a millionaire, his grandfather was a millionaire, but here he was living in a poverty condition. And an old cycle, he's cycling, for 45 minutes to get and some nails. But the whole way he was just chanting the Mahamantra. He was so happy the whole way. He was very happy. And when he reached the shop, when you're happy, it shows on your face. So Jayapataka was so happy. He went to the shop, that shopkeeper saw Jayapataka was so happy. I hardly had anything, but Krishna consciousness. I knew what my goal was. I had Krishna with me. I was Krishna conscious. That itself gave me so much happiness to make me happy. So again, the main thing is that if we are happy, if we are Krishna consciousness, if we are Krishna conscious, automatically happiness will come from within. And like I mentioned, the Maya will always keep on trying to attack us and divert us. One senior devotee, he made a very nice statement. He said, we are habituated in finding shelter in a bad habit. I'm very अरे भाई ये माया मेरे पीछे कब छोड़ेगा. Even if we are with Krishna, Maya will still keep on attacking us. Even physically, if we are with Krishna, there's a famous classic story in Chaitanya Charitamrita when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was going for his South Indian Yatra. Kal Krishna Das, his personal servant and assistant, was with him. Imagine you're with the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And when both of them were traveling, there was a Bhattahari tribe. And the women of the Bhattahari tribe, they tried to tempt and allure Kal Krishna Das, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's personal servant. And they were successful. They took away, they tempted Kal Krishna Das and took away Kal Krishna Das from Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Imagine, even if you're with Supreme Personality of Godhead, but if you're not attentive, we could succumb to Maya. But again, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's mercy, that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu went back to the Bhattahari tribe and got back Kal Krishna, took him by the hair and saved him. Yeah? So again, the point is, at every moment, we have to take shelter of Guru, Sadhu, and the Sastras. That is our only hope. And when we are doing bhakti, we have to understand that there are many enemy soldiers within our system itself. Within us, there are many enemy soldiers. And if we listen to our enemy soldiers, we'll be doomed. And these enemy soldiers are within us in the form of our uncontrolled senses, our uncontrolled mind, our conditioned ego. These are enemy soldiers within us. And if we listen to them, we'll be doomed. And Maya will always tell us that, if you're strict, bhakti will be very difficult. But if you're not so strict, bhakti will be easy. Take with beauty na. He's not so strict, but kitna acha chal raha uska spiritual life. But again, this is an attack of Maya. For an example, if we eat at regular times in a day, and if we are crossing some place where there's very nice smelling food stuff and very nice attractive looking food stuff, we will not succumb. But if we don't eat at regular fixed times, we eat at any time, and we are crossing a place where you see very nice food stuff and very nice smelling food, we'll be tempted and we may succumb to eating that. So again, the important thing is that we have to be strict in bhakti. And like earlier we were mentioning that we have to follow the laws of God. We have to follow the laws which Krishna has laid down in the scriptures. If we don't do that, we are inviting for trouble. In this material world, if you compare the whole population, most of the population, they are not following the rules of the scriptures. They're not following the rules what Krishna has given. And there's a very small portion who follow the rules which are defined in the scriptures. But why do this small proportion follow? A lot of these people follow the rules of the scriptures out of fear. If I don't do this, something bad will happen to me. Something bad will happen to my family. Something bad will happen to my business. Something bad will happen to my relatives. So out of fear, they follow. But why does a devotee follow the pure rules of the scriptures, the rules which Krishna has given? So that he has only one aim for following these rules. What is his aim? So that it is pleasing to Krishna. That is his only concern. Let me follow this so that it is pleasing to Krishna. It will be as a service to Krishna. That is the only motivation of a devotee. And in the text which we are reading, which we read in the translation, the purport, Parikshit feels that whatever calamities are supposed to come, let it come to me. Prabhupada writes in the purport that a man's personal misconduct affects all his family members, and Prabhupada also mentions that if someone becomes a devotee, the family members also gets the benefit. So in this context, I would like to narrate a true story. Keshav Bharati Prabhu, who was Prabhupada's disciple, when in the initial ISKCON days, he got attracted by ISKCON and he wanted to join the ISKCON family. But he comes from a very strict Christian family. And his mother is a very strict Christian person. And when Keshav Bharati Prabhu went to his mother and said that I want to join the Hare Krishna movement, mother was furious. Mother said, impossible, cannot join. But somehow Keshav Bharati Prabhu, he tried to convince his mother that, see, my heart has already been attracted. It's pure path. It's a bona fide path. I want to join. Mother said, nothing doing. But somehow Keshav Bharati Prabhu's heart had already, was at the feet of Srila Prabhupada. So he joined. And Keshav Bharati Prabhu's mother told Keshav Bharati Prabhu, if you join ISKCON, you're out of my life forever. I'm going to cut my connection with you forever. You're not going to be in my life anymore. So Keshav Bharati Prabhu joined ISKCON, and Keshav Bharati Prabhu's mother cut off all her relationship with Keshav Bharati Prabhu. No communication. So after 20 years, Keshav Bharati Prabhu's mother got cancer, and it was in the last stage. So that time Keshav Bharati Prabhu was in Bombay. So he got the news that his mother has been diagnosed with this terminal cancer. So Keshav Bharati Prabhu, he flew to USA. He went to meet his mother. So Keshav Bharati Prabhu stayed with his mother for a few days and was trying to serve her. Obviously, Keshav Bharati Prabhu's mother, was bedridden and could not move much. So Keshav Bharati Prabhu, in a very menial way, as a real, very genuine son, was trying to serve her mother in all the capacity. And he would read for her mother from the Bible, because Keshav Bharati Prabhu knew my mother is very strict Christian. So he would read from the Bible every day to his mother, and he would feed her mother, take care of her mother. So one day, Keshav Bharati Prabhu told his mother that, Mummy, the religion which I follow, we read the Gita and the Krishna book. If you want, can I read you from the Bhagavad Gita and the Krishna book? Keshav Bharati was asking his mother. Mother said, okay, no problem. You can read from the Gita and the Krishna book for me. So Keshav Bharati Prabhu started reading to his mother from the Gita and from the Krishna book every day. And his mother started liking. And mother would tell Keshav Bharati, please read more. And she told Keshav Bharati Prabhu that, please get me some tapes of Srila Prabhupada. In those days, there was no CD and nothing. No, those days there were tape recorder and there were cassettes. So Keshav Bharati Prabhu arranged for some cassettes of Srila Prabhupada. And her mother would hear lectures of Prabhupada. Then she told Keshav Bharati Prabhu, I want to start chanting the Maha Mantra. She requested Keshav Bharati, please give me bead back and beads. She started chanting one round every day, Slowly she moved to 3 rounds, 5 rounds, 10 rounds, and 16 rounds. Every day she was chanting. And then she told Keshav Bharati Prabhu that I would like to take initiation in ISKCON. So it was a surprise for Keshav Bharati Prabhu. So Keshav Bharati Prabhu said, okay, fine. Then Shivram Maharaj was in that area. So Keshav Bharati Prabhu spoke to Shivram Maharaj, and Shivram Maharaj said, okay, I will initiate her. And Shivram Maharaj gave her initiation, and she got her name Nandini Devidasi. And after she got that name, and then after a few days, obviously her cancer was in the last stage. After a few days, Nandini Devidasi, she passed away. And before passing away, she told to Keshav Bharati Prabhu, you know, in my whole life, the most important day and the most happiest, you know, which was it? The most important and most happiest day was the day when I got initiation. So this story, I'm like, you know, how true Prabhupada mentions in the purport that, you know, when a person in the family takes up to Krishna consciousness, there's many benefits from many angles. And obviously, in the purport, Prabhupada mentions about Prahlad Maharaj and Hiranyakashipu. Because of Prahlad Maharaj, Hiranyakashipu, you know, got liberated. And then when we follow the laws of Krishna, we should know that something wonderful is happening. Something wonderful will keep on happening. And what is that wonderful thing? That wonderful thing is that we are engaged in devotional service. We have to understand one thing, that there's nothing higher than devotional service. Nothing higher. In this context, Krishna says to the gopis, that even if I spend one lifetime of Brahma in trying to repay for your bhakti, that will not be enough. Please kindly be satisfied with your devotional service itself. Just see, Krishna wants to give something, you know, because Krishna is so grateful and so in depth to the gopis for their devotional service. Krishna wants to give them something the highest. But Krishna tells the gopis, I want to give you something the highest, but that there's nothing higher than devotional service. So please be satisfied performing devotional service. Then once one of Srila Prabhupada's disciple, Krishna Das, he wrote to Srila Prabhupada he wrote to Prabhupada that his pathway has become filled with stumbling blocks. Krishna Das, he wrote to Prabhupada that Prabhupada, that my spiritual pathway has become filled with stumbling blocks. That Prabhupada wrote back to him saying that I can kick away all your blocks with one kick, provided you accept my guidance. Again, in this part, one of the most important thing is, Prabhupada writes, provided you take my guidance, you follow my guidance, then all your stumbling blocks will be kicked away. So the most important thing is we have to follow what Prabhupada has given us. We have to follow what our Gurudev has given us or trying to teach us. We have to follow what's written in the scriptures. When we follow these things, then all the stumbling blocks are removed from our spiritual path. Then, you know, so in this context, once a devotee mentioned that there's nothing lacking in Krishna consciousness. What is lacking is our Krishna consciousness. Very true. See, sometimes we go to Srinath and say, Prabhuji, you say that there's a lot of bliss in spiritual life and there's happiness, but I'm not finding that bliss. If you analyze, it's because we are not following what's given in the scriptures properly. We're not following the guidance given by a senior devotees properly. So, udhar hum maar kha jate. So, there's nothing lacking in Krishna consciousness. What is lacking is our Krishna consciousness. Then, okay. And the earlier we start, when you're talking of bhakti, the earlier we start a spiritual journey, the better it is. Because the earlier we start a spiritual journey, the less conditioned we become. The more later stage we take up to spiritual life, we add on more conditioning to us. And it's not that because, see, spiritual life is at no time at no time is at or no circumstance we can say that okay, abhi bahut ho gaya, mera condition bahut hai, I can't take to Krishna consciousness. No, Krishna consciousness is meant for anyone. However conditioned we are, still there's hope for us. But again, the point is, the earlier we take up to Krishna consciousness, the better it is, the less conditioning we have. Especially, we should try to train our children in young age to take up to Krishna consciousness. In this context, I know a family in Mira Road. They have a 4-year son. So that son is a born devotee, and this family is trying to train that son in Krishna consciousness. So the father once was telling me that his son, when he was 4 years old, and he was half asleep. When he was half asleep, yeah, and the son is talking in his half asleep. What is he saying? He's saying, Krishna, give me bhakti. What is he saying in his half asleep? 4-year child. Krishna, give me bhakti. He's not aware what he's talking. But so this shows that, if at young age, if we give training to our children, they will go back to God at a faster pace. Then, basically, devotional service means keeping Krishna in the center. Devotional service means keeping Krishna in the center. Once, Srila Prabhupada, he was walking with some of his disciples. There was Dhananjay Prabhu, there was Guru Das Prabhu, and there's some other devotees. They're walking. So, as they were walking, Prabhupada took his cane, famous, and pointed somewhere. And he pointed to a patch of grass which was yellow in color. So Prabhupada pointed there and told his disciples, why is that patch of grass yellow in color? So Guru Das Prabhu, he said, Prabhupada, maybe the quality of the soil there is not proper. Some other devotee said, Prabhupada, maybe the water is not reached there properly. So Prabhupada heard the answer. Prabhupada said, that patch of grass is yellow because that grass, it is disconnected from its root. And Prabhupada said, the plants, when it's connected to its root, the roots give that plant nourishment. So Prabhupada says that the problem in material world is because we are disconnected from Krishna. Because we are disconnected from Krishna is problem in this material world. So Prabhupada said, once we get connected to Krishna, when we get connected to the roots, then we get nourishment in our spiritual life. So again, the point is, we have to get connected with Krishna. When we get connected with Krishna, we get spiritual regeneration. We get spiritual nourishment. And another thing is that a diseased man, the more he gains his health, the more better he feels. In the same way, the more Krishna conscious we become, the more satisfied we feel from within. Once there was a poor man in a village. This poor man, he had never seen gold. So someone told him in the village, you go to the king, and if you request the king to open his treasury, in the treasury it's full of gold. So this poor man, he was very simple-hearted, very simple person. He goes to the king and tells the king, sir, I've never seen gold. Someone told me that there's a lot of gold in your treasury. I have a desire to see that if you permit me. The king said, okay. So the king called his minister and told him, you take this man, poor man, on the first floor in a treasury, open the treasury and show him gold. So the minister took the poor man to the first floor. And as they were walking, that whole first floor was made of gold. The whole staircase was made of gold also. And as they reached the first floor, the king's minister, he opened the treasury. When the king's minister opened the treasury, this man, poor man, saw the gold, yellow metal inside. But then he noticed that when I was coming up the first floor, that whole first floor was also made of gold. And this treasury is also, inside is also full of gold. So the point is, when we go back to the spiritual world and we see the treasure of devotional service there, we will understand, in the material world also, that devotional service which I was doing, that was also the real treasure. So it's not that only you have to, when you go back to the spiritual world, you'll find the real treasure. When we do devotional service in this material world, That itself is the real treasure of Golok Vrindavan. Because when we go to Golok Vrindavan, what will we do there? We'll be serving Krishna. We'll be performing devotional service. So if that same devotional service we are doing here, if we're serving Krishna in this material world, Golok Vrindavan is already there for us. And we should feel very grateful to Krishna and his representative for engaging us in the process of bhakti. You know, all of us here, if you analyze why are we in bhakti, it is because of some devotee. Some devotee may have given us some prasad, some devotee through book discussion may have given us some book. We read that, we became devotee. Some devotee very lovingly told us, "Arey Prabhuji, thoda Bhagavad 7-day Bhagavad Gita course aa raha hai. Please come." Just to please him, because we had a good relationship, maybe we were a relative of his. We come. And because of that, today we are here. So if you analyze how come we are sitting here today, if you go back, you'll understand that there was a hand of a devotee. So we should feel very grateful to the devotees for having engaged us in this process of devotional service. And there's an example. Say Bill Gates or one of the richest person in this world, his very personal associate, the personal associate of Bill Gates or the richest man, he comes to us and tells us and gives us a key and tells us, "This is the key of this rich man. You can go to his house anytime and stay for any number of days." But we'll not believe it. We'll feel so happy. We'll feel very grateful. We'll feel very grateful to this person who has given us the key. So in the same way, Srila Prabhupada, he has got us that key. Srila Prabhupada is very dear to Krishna. He's a very confidential associate of Lord Krishna. Very dear to Krishna. So Srila Prabhupada has got that key for us. And that key does two functions. That key, first of all, it unlocks the jail which we are in, the jail of material world. This key, first of all, unlocks the gate of the jail of the material world which we are in. And the second, this key opens the door of Golok Vrindavan for us. So we should feel very, very grateful to Srila Prabhupada and all the Vaishnavas. So it is time up. So we'll stop here. So if anyone has a question, maybe we can take a quick question.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, everybody. Are you able to hear me now?
Yes,
Hare Krishna,
Mataji.
Prashant. Hare Krishna, Mataji. Thank you for joining in today. This was a recording. I was going to do this class, but because of internet challenges, we put on this recording. This class was given by Srivas Thakur Prabhuji on the 3rd of June this year at ISKCON Chopati. And I'm really grateful that at least through this recorded medium, at least we could do the class today. Was it clear, the relay? I know we lost the video half the time, but otherwise, were you able to hear it?
Yes, Mataji,
Yes,
towards
Sandhya
the
Mataji.
end it was fine, yeah. But
Okay,
Mataji,
okay.
Hare Krishna, Mataji, just a quick request. If you had prepared for it, if you would like to share anything, please do, because you know you had prepared something for it. So it's you, sir. It's also your service, isn't it? We wouldn't want to deprive you of your service, Mataji. So, so please, do share anything today or tomorrow, sometime, whatever you've prepared, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you very much. I'll do so that. Oh, it's already time up. Okay, we can take some questions. I just had some realizations, so maybe we can quickly share those. But Sandhya Mataji, you have your hand raised. Kindly unmute and ask your question.
Hare Krishna, Kirtika Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
Yeah, what a shame we couldn't hear your talk. I would have loved to have heard it. Mataji, I want to know why does King Parikshit say that due to my neglecting the injunctions of Supreme Lord, I must certainly expect some difficulty to overcome me in the near future. Because Parikshit Maharaj, he was the one who had put the snake on the rishi, didn't he? But as far as I remember from a previous story I saw on television from Bhagavatam, he was very tired and I think very thirsty, and I think he had started getting confused. And that's when he put the snake on the rishi, because he thought that the sage was purposely ignoring him. So why does he now feel that he had done something really bad? Because we know, I think that he was confused and not in his right state of mind. Um, should that also be punished by Krishna? Is what I would like to know, Mataji. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Yes, so this is the difference. Yeah. Hare Krishna, an excellent question. And this is exactly what we are doing. Whenever we make a mistake, we say, we justify our mistakes. Oh, I didn't chant today. It's okay. I am running high temperature and it's okay. I should be concentrating on my health and I really don't have time. And I'm sure Krishna will forgive. This is what we do, the normal people do. But this was Parikshit Maharaj. He was a devotee. He has never done anything wrong in his life. And this one small mistake he did, as you said, in confusion or because he was really tired and thirsty and hungry, he felt that even in that condition, he should not have made this mistake. I mean, this is in his head a mark of disrespecting the sadhu, the saint that was there. In the scriptures, in the injunctions, we should listen to the scriptures, sadhu, and shastra. So that is why he thought that he has not listened to the scriptures by putting a dead snake over the rishi, and therefore he should be punished. And he said that, oh, I'm not a devotee at all, and I know I shall be punished for this. I should be punished, but please punish me, O Lord. Don't punish my family for what I have done. So this was the mood of a devotee, just like in the purport, Srila Prabhupada mentions Prahlad Maharaj. And Prahlad Maharaj said that he was always praying, and because of him, the whole, even Hiranyakashipu, who was such a big demon, he had done such nasty things, he still got delivered. And so this is the difference. So I'm glad you pointed that out.
Thank you very much, Mataji. Just by saying the first line, where you said this is exactly what we're doing, I think you suddenly just, the penny just dropped even before you said the answer. That's absolutely right. We do this every day. Yes, thank you. Thank you very much, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
But I mean, we are conditioned souls. We have all these anarthas, and we are. I mean, I'm not letting Maya come into here by like the camel story where the camel said, "Oh, let me just put my nose in. Let me just put my head in." So Maya will slowly creep into us. So I'm not giving an excuse, but we are conditioned soul. We are in this material body, and we are influenced by our senses. Oh, I really want to eat that pav bhaji. I'm full, but I really want to eat that pizza or whatever. We are ruled by our senses, and our mind is conditioned for so many lifetimes. I mean, I'm old now, so I have, even this lifetime also, I've acquired so many nonsensical things. But what we can do is, being on this path, at least we realize that this is a mistake I have done. I've done this mistake and I'm sorry, Krishna, please help me. That is very loving to Krishna when we repent. When we repent and we cry for help from Krishna, then we will get realizations and wonderful things will happen. But till we don't repent for what we do, sometimes we don't even realize that we made a mistake. So, and we try to cover it up. But now, being on this path and with association of devotees, I have been seeing so many things that I have done that is wrong, which I never even realized before. So the way out, the topic for today's discussion was the true jewel. What is the true jewel? The way out is devotional service. And what is devotional service? Everybody says devotional service, devotional. Whenever they say devotional service, what picture comes to my mind is somebody with a bell and doing an arti. That's how I have been conditioned. But devotional service is putting Krishna in the center of everything that you do. And when you start doing that, that will nourish you. Like I haven't been attending the Srimad Bhagavatam classes, and I feel that I have missed out on, I have become a zombie. So, so this is a little bit rasa that we get from just 1 hour of reading the Srimad Bhagavatam and discussing it with real elevated devotees that come on this group. And they have imparted rasa. And so when you don't get it, you feel, oh, I've missed out. So that is a revelation that, okay, you probably are on the right path. So that is my few little bits. I know I'm cognizant of the time. We have passed 15 minutes, but if there are other questions or comments, and I'm ready to continue with the discussion if there are any questions or comments, now that the internet is stable.
No questions, Mataji, but wonderful explanation. Thank you so much. You explained it so well. Especially, I especially loved
I'm learning
the
from
expression.
you.
Oh no, Mataji, no, you're so much better
You
than I.
really go so at the basic level that we understand it.
No, Mataji, I really loved your expression, the true jewel. What's the true jewel of our life? And we don't realize that it is bhakti. We go in so many circular ways, and we try to find other things, but we miss out on the absolute basics. And the most simplest of the thing is to just, even remembering. I was listening to a class the other day, and Prabhuji was saying, even if you just remember the picture of Krishna in your mind. So during your work, people ask the question all the time, how do I remember Krishna during my work hours? And my work hours are 8, 9, 10 hours. I can't chant, I can't do anything. Yes, I can. There are many ways, I can keep Krishna as my screensaver, a photo of Krishna in front of me. I can pray to Krishna before I start my work. I can say, Krishna, this work is your prasad to me. I've got this job and I'm able and capable of doing this job because of me. So I can do all of these things. But Prabhuji was saying that the best way to practice Krishna consciousness during your work hours is by practicing Krishna consciousness outside your work hours. Because when you practice bhakti properly, you don't have to endeavor and make an effort to remember Krishna. If you practice bhakti, even when you're working, the picture of Krishna or the thought of Krishna will automatically come to you. You don't have to artificially fix anything to remember Krishna. So remembering Krishna, the best way to remember Krishna is to just practice bhakti. During outside, if you want to remember Krishna when you're very busy, during work, practice Krishna consciousness outside your work hours. And that is how we will remember Krishna towards the end of our life as well. We will be so conditioned in thinking about Krishna that we don't have to make an effort to think about Krishna. Krishna will come into our mind automatically, but most importantly, even more than we make an effort, Krishna himself will make the effort of coming into our mind because he loves us as his devotees. So thanks very much, Mataji, for explaining that.
Thank you for the explanation as well. We just forget that Krishna loves us more than what we love him. So, sometimes we don't have the faith. Sometimes we feel, really, I'm doing this. Is he really listening? But he is listening, and he will not come with Shankada, Chakra, chakra. I mean, that's how as a kid, I used to imagine, oh, the Lord will one day come in front of me and this is the way he'll look. But he doesn't come. I mean, obviously, there are lots of elevated devotees and they are definitely seeing the Lord that way. But to us also, he's revealing in small ways. And every day, in small ways, you say, oh, that was Lord's hand, I can see. Sometimes we don't even notice it, but now that you are becoming Krishna conscious, you will see it. I see that sometimes as well, and he must be doing lots of miracles. And sometimes I'm not grateful. So since I'm not making excuses, but this conditioned mind Maya is really empowering and say, oh, that is your imagination. It wasn't him. Just to distract you from that thought that, oh, this was Krishna's this thing. But just repenting, being remorseful, and being humble, you will get lots of things revealed to you. You will definitely get lots of things revealed to you. Just looking at my notes to see. About bhakti, being strict in bhakti, like I learned this from my mother-in-law. I mean, she is a Pushti Margi, so she worships the baby Krishna. And whenever we have to be on safaris or whenever we have to travel, that'll be 6 o'clock in the morning. She will get up at 3 o'clock and do her seva, feed the Lord and talk to him and say, please take this and eat this and dress him up. And I used to say, oh my God, getting up at 2 o'clock and 3 o'clock, I mean, what use is it? But now that I've seen her doing it, it is now falling into place in my head that it wasn't a waste of her time. I mean, she has a relationship with him. And if it was your child, you would do it. So she loves him like her own child. So whichever form you like Krishna in, I mean, yeah, Gaudiya Vaishnava, we like the Radha Krishna form of Krishna, and our aim is to go to Golok Vrindavan. So that is the form we worship Krishna in. But whichever form, just be true to that, and things will be revealed to you. And I really like the story Prabhuji gave about the gold treasure. I think one of the devotees had mentioned it earlier, but it really sunk in this time, that devotional service is the key. I mean, even when you go to Golok Vrindavan, you say, oh, yeah, this is what I did there. I did this there. Even the walls are gold, even the floor is gold. All this is gold. But we are just looking at gold in terms of the gold coins, like that poor man did. He recognized gold as gold coins. And then once he saw what gold is, he started seeing gold everywhere. So I really like that story as well. I'm really grateful to Prabhuji, Srivas Thakur Prabhuji from his Concho party for giving this session today, recorded session. Any more questions or comments? Krishnatma Prabhu, we haven't heard from you. Hare Krishna. Okay, maybe he's having bandwidth problems like we are having in Kenya at the moment. Okay, so we can close this up. Oh, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna Prabhu.
I usually listen from my phone, and sometimes I just put it aside. So, but yes, thank you so much. Converts to all the devotees today. I was doing listening. It's wonderful, wonderful. I can't say I'll add anything. Wonderful to hear from all of you, and it's very inspiring. So thank you so much.
Thank you very much,
And
Krishnatma
please,
Prabhu,
if
for
you
those
can
kind
share,
words and comments.
please, if you can share with me some of your humility. You're also humble and very dear devotees to Krishna.
Far from that, Krishnatma Prabhu. Far from that. Far from that, Prabhu. I'm just trying. I'm trying. Thank you very much, Sandhya Mataji, for joining after long. Appreciate. I love it. I love to hear your voice. So we have missed you. So thank you for dropping in. And whenever possible, please do so.
Thank you so much, Kritika Mataji. It's just that at 6 o'clock, there's so many things. And so today I thought, today while walking the dog, I'll at least try and listen. But the battery was so down, so I was sticking to the wall and listening. But no, thank you. I think I'll try and kind of find a way that, after I've done the dinners for Sasha, then I can, during taking the dog out, at least then I can hear. But yeah, it just brought back memories that how much I enjoy these classes. And thank you so much. Thank you, everybody here.
It's so
I was just
refreshing.
about
I
to
mean,
say to Sandhya Mataji, it's so nice to have you back. Please do
I-
join. You always used to ask those challenging questions which nobody else could ask.
yes.
So,
Oh,
Yes,
Mataji,
yes.
I sometimes feel that I probably sound a bit challenging, so I have to control
no,
myself
no.
quite a lot.
No, because nobody else. I mean, I wouldn't even dare to ask those questions because I don't. I'm not brave enough. But you are so good to ask those questions, and I mean, many a times even I thought of asking the same, but I would just keep quiet. So I would, and then I would just thank you. Thank you so much to Sandhya Mataji for asking those questions. So yeah.
Mataji, actually, I'm practicing how not to ask questions because I think
Don't.
I'm
We
working
love
on
you.
both the
We love
things
your
actually.
questions.
Oh,
Don't
thank
stop.
you. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, you all have
That's what
helped me actually by listening to all the answers. I think it's every time taken me a step further in this journey. So, Danvat Pranam to all of you, to all the gurus who have spoken over here. Thank you.
Danvat Pranam to you too. So we'll have another session tomorrow. I think Vidur Prabhu is going to come for tomorrow's class, and then 4 days we'll have the Mashtami celebrations. And then from Monday we have new speakers. Monday speaker is joining us from New Jersey. And then on Tuesday we are having somebody from Bhaktivedanta Manor, and then the old speakers, including Panchali Mataji, will speak next week as well. I'll share the schedule with you, Mataji. So let us close this session today and meet again tomorrow, and then have a 4-day break. And we know Janmashtami is the birth of Krishna, and Krishna is born into all our hearts, and he's come to deliver us. So with those thoughts and prayers, we will celebrate Janmashtami. So let us chant the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra for all of us, and then close this session. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare
Krishna
Hare,
Krishna Hare
Hare
Hare,
Ram,
Hare
Hare
Rama,
Ram,
Hare Rama,
Ram
Rama
Ram.
Rama,
Hare
Vanchakalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhaiva cha
Jnanam Bhavaya,
patyanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo.
Jai,
Prabhupada ki
Jai.
very much.
Thank you, Mataji.
Hare
Thank you, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.